He was written at Kingsmead, but not without late-night nerves, dropped shoulders, and one unforgettable over. A record-breaking century, the first hat-trick of its kind, and a chase that refused to die. Pretoria Capitals vs Durban's Super Giants delivered pure SA20 drama. This match mattered because records fell, strategies were tested, and one man redefined his T20 legacy. For Shy Hope, this was unfamiliar territory. After 194 T20 innings without a century, he produced a career-defining knock, 118 not out from 69 balls, the highest individual score in SA20 history. Opening alongside Connor Esterhuizen, Hope dominated from the outset. While Esterhuizen contributed a steady 37 from 28 balls, the partnership belonged almost entirely to Hope. By the time Esterhuizen fell, the Capitals had raced to 101 in 11 overs, with Hope already past 50. Hope's innings was built on authority and elegance, swivel pulls, clean sweeps, powerful strikes through the offside, combining control with calculated aggression. His second 50 came faster than his first, as he accelerated seamlessly through the middle overs. After Esterhuizen's dismissal, Hope added 85 runs in 44 balls with Roston Chase. Then came a moment never seen before in SA20 history. Chase was strategically retired out with 10 balls remaining. The move did not immediately pay off. Sherfane Rutherford departed without scoring. But Dewald Brevis changed the momentum instantly, launching two massive sixes over deep square leg, one of which struck a spectator. Those final blows pushed Pretoria Capitals to a formidable 201 for 4, setting Durban's Super Giants an unprecedented challenge. Chasing over 200 had never been done at Kingsmead in SA20. Jos Buttler tried to make the impossible believable. At halfway, DSG were 90 for 3, having lost Marquez Ackerman, Kane Williamson, and Aiden Markram after promising starts. Buttler, batting at number 3, kept the chase alive with clean, inventive stroke play. 24 of his first 30 runs came in boundaries. He punished Lungi Njidi with consecutive sixes to bring up his 50, but support never arrived. Heinrich Claassen struggled, Evan Jones fell first ball, and pressure continued to mount. With 42 required from 17 balls, hope still flickered. Then Lungi Njidi delivered a moment that silenced Kingsmead, an 18th over hat-trick, the first of its kind in SA20. David Wees, Sunil Narine, and Gerald Cutsey fell in succession, and suddenly the chase was derailed. What looked possible moments earlier now felt out of reach. But Jos Buttler was not done. Against Lizad Williams, he smashed 6-2, 4 in the 19th over, dragging DSG back into contention. 18 were needed off the final over. Roston Chase held his nerve, nailing Yorkers under pressure. Buttler finished on a valiant 97 not out, but two late runouts sealed the contest. Pretoria Capitals held on to win by 15 runs, not without a final surge of fear. This match was defined by individual brilliance and tactical boldness. Shy Hope's century was not just historic, it reshaped his T20 narrative. City's hat-trick delivered the decisive blow, while Buttler's lone resistance highlighted DSG's lack of middle-order support. For Pretoria, this was a statement win built on composure under pressure. What did you make of the retired-out decision and Njidi's hat-trick moment? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy in-depth SA20 match breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Records were broken, tactics were tested, and nerves were pushed to the limit. Pretoria Capitals emerged stronger, Durban's Super Giants were left wondering what might have been, and SA20 delivered another classic. Cricket rarely gets more dramatic than this. After 5 straight matches without a win, MI Cape Town are suddenly alive. A towering total. A record-setting knock. And a chase that was always just out of reach. In Johannesburg, Michigan, Cape Town vs Joburg Super Kings turned into a statement night, led by one batter who simply refused to stop. MI Cape Town were asked to bat first, and from the very beginning, intent was clear. Despite Faf du Plessis losing his 6th toss in 7 matches, Joburg Super Kings got what they wanted, but what followed was relentless pressure from the batters. At the top, Ryan Rickelton and Rassie van der Dussen exploded out of the blocks. The JSK bowlers struggled for control early, and wides, boundaries, and sixes piled up quickly. The pair raced past 50 inside 4 overs and continued to dominate even after the power play. The first wicket finally fell after a 129-run opening stand, but by then the damage was already severe. Van der Dussen brought up a rapid half-century, while Rickelton stayed composed and destructive at the other end. Rickelton takes control. The middle overs briefly slowed after Daniel Worrell removed both Van der Dussen and Nicholas Pooran, but the turning point came when Rickelton was caught, only for a back-foot no-ball to save him. What followed was punishment. Boundaries off consecutive deliveries, a 6 that carried him to a second century of the season, his 113 not out off 60 balls powering Michigan Cape Town to 234 for 3. The final 3 overs alone produced 55 runs, setting a daunting target. JSK's chase under pressure. Joburg Super Kings were chasing the highest total in SA20 history, without du Plessis, who was unable to bat after injuring his finger in the field. James Vince came out firing, striking early boundaries and keeping the chase alive. But wickets kept falling around him. JSK slipped to 35 for 3 inside 5 overs, placing enormous pressure on the middle order. Still, Vince fought hard, finding the boundary in almost every over before falling for 77. From there, Gian Forrester stepped up, accelerating late and bringing some respectability to the chase with an unbeaten 80. Despite valiant half-centuries from Vince and Forrester, the required rate never truly dipped. Cape Town's bowling held firm, conceding no easy momentum shifts. JSK finished on 198 for 5, falling 36 runs short. While MI Cape Town missed out on a bonus point, this win marked their second straight victory after a winless start to the season. What did you make of Ryan Rickelton's knock? Was this the turning point in MI Cape Town's campaign? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're enjoying in-depth match breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe. A record chase denied, a century that defined the match, and a season that might finally be shifting momentum. MI Cape Town are back in the conversation, and the SA20 just got a lot more interesting. A low-scoring thriller, a dramatic collapse, fire outside the stadium, and pressure moments that changed the SA20 points table. At Boland Park, Pretoria Capitals defended the lowest total in SA20 history, and somehow walked away with a crucial win over Paarl Royals. This was not about power hitting. This was about control, discipline, and holding nerve when it mattered most. On a dry, slow Boland Park surface, runs were never going to come easy. Pretoria Capitals found that out early as they slipped to 74 for 6 in the 12th over, with Paarl Royals firmly on top after a disciplined bowling effort. Just when it looked like the innings might collapse completely, Sherfane Rutherford stepped in with a calm, measured knock. His 42 not out off 35 balls dragged Pretoria to 138 for 9, a total that felt below par, but not impossible on this surface. The Royals' control with the ball was built around relentless spin. Roston Chase delivered one of the most economical spells of the tournament, conceding just 15 runs from 5 overs. Keshav Maharaj backed it up with 2 for 14, keeping Pretoria under constant pressure. A surprise moment came in the 8th over when Dan Lawrence, fresh from the ILT20, struck twice in 4 balls. Wihan Love and Shai Hope fell quickly, triggering a dramatic middle-order collapse that Pretoria never fully recovered from. The chase began under unusual circumstances. During the 4th over, a parking lot fire broke out outside Boland Park. Play continued, and the fire was extinguished by the 7th over with no reported damage. On the field, Pretoria Capitals were already in control. By the 8th over, Paarl Royals were 38 for 3, struggling against a tight, disciplined attack. Lungi Njidi, coming off a hat-trick in the previous match, struck early again. He dismissed Luandre Pretorius with a ball that moved back sharply, confirmed on review to be crashing into middle stump. Sikandar Raza delivered a defining performance. He removed Roston Chase with a brilliant caught-end bowled and then clean-bowled Dewald Brevis with a Yorker that held its line. That wicket underlined Brevis' ongoing struggles. Despite being the SA20's highest-paid player, his top score remains 36 not out, and he continues to search for consistency. Raza's figure strengthened his position at the top of the wicket charts, alongside Othniel Bartman, with outstanding economy and average. With the required rate climbing, the responsibility fell to David Miller. Known for finishing games under pressure, Miller fought back with 45 off 36 balls, briefly reigniting hope. But support never arrived. Delano Potgieter struggled to rotate strike, and wickets kept falling. The equation quickly ballooned to 35 off 12, then 30 off the final over. Njidi and Lizad Williams held their nerve, sealing a 21-run victory for Pretoria Capitals and pushing them ahead of Paarl Royals on net run rate as both sides moved to 15 points. This match was a reminder that SA20 success is not always about big totals. Pretoria Capitals showcased how disciplined bowling, intelligent field placements, and calm execution can defend even the lowest score in tournament history. For Paarl Royals, the loss exposed middle-order fragility under pressure, despite strong bowling and Miller's late resistance. If you enjoy deep match breakdowns like this, make sure you subscribe to Sports Review for daily SA20 analysis. And let us know in the comments, was this the best bowling performance of the season so far? From Rutherford's rescue act to Njidi's early strike and Raza's match-defining spell, this was a game decided by fine margins. In SA20, totals don't win matches, execution does. And at Boland Park, Pretoria Capitals executed perfectly. That's all that separated survival from disaster at Boland Park. In a night packed with pressure, drama, and momentum swings, Paarl Royals pulled off a heart-stopping one-run victory over defending champions MI Cape Town, leaving the title holders winless after 4 matches and stuck at the bottom of the SA20 table. This was not just a match. This was a reminder of how brutal T20 cricket can be. Paarl Royals set the tone. After being bowled out for just 49 in their previous home game, Paarl Royals had something to prove, and they responded in emphatic fashion. Young opener Luandre Pretorius delivered a career-defining knock, anchoring the innings with a stunning 98 not out, his highest score in T20 cricket. Partnering him early was SA20, who played the perfect supporting role with a fluent 51, as the pair dismantled a highly rated MI Cape Town bowling attack. The opening stand was ruthless. 13 runs came off Kagiso Rabada's first over. 16 runs each were taken off Dane Pite and Rashid Khan. Tribe punished anything short, while Pretorius used his feet brilliantly, particularly against Rabada. Together, they stitched Paarl's third highest opening partnership in SA20 history. Tribe eventually fell to Rashid Khan, caught on the deep mid-wicket boundary, but the damage had already been done. Pretorius chases history. On a pitch known to slow down, Paarl's innings stalled slightly between overs 10 and 15, managing just 30 runs, even with David Miller at the crease. But Pretorius held firm. A slog swept 6 off George Linda in the 16th over pushed him into the 60s, and despite tight bowling late on, Paarl reached the final over at 166 for 3, with Pretorius on 84. The final over was pure drama. Facing Kagiso Rabada, Pretorius edged a slower ball for 4, benefited from a wide, and dragged another delivery into the leg side to move into the 90s. With help from Delano Potgieter, who ran tirelessly, Pretorius reached 98 with 1 ball remaining. Rabada had the final say. A wide Yorker denied Pretorius a maiden T20 century, but Paarl Royals finished on 181 for 3, their highest total at Boland Park. MI Cape Town's chase promised to pain. Chasing 182, MI Cape Town started strongly. Despite the difficulty of chasing big totals at Boland Park, where 160 plus had only been chased once before, MICT looked in control early. They raced to 109 for 1 after 12 overs, with Ryan Rickelton and Rassie van der Dussen leading the charge. Rickelton, fresh off discussions around his T20 World Cup omission, struck 36, while van der Dussen played a reminder innings of his own, smashing 59 off 42 balls. 1 over changed everything. In the final over of the power play, van der Dussen dismantled Othniel Bartman, launching 3 sixes in 4 balls, showcasing his class and composure. MICT ended the power play at 64 without loss and were cruising. The collapse that defined the match. Then came the turning point. Otniel Bartman and Sikandar Raza ripped the heart out of MI Cape Town's chase. In just 18 balls, MICT lost 5 wickets for 9 runs. The collapse was sudden, brutal, and stunning. One of the biggest talking points was Jason Smith, the surprise inclusion in South Africa's T20 World Cup squad. Under intense scrutiny, Smith managed just 1 run, falling LBW to Bartman after being talked out of a review by Nicholas Pooran. From dominance to desperation, MICT suddenly needed 50 runs from 4 overs. 30 from the last 2, 15 from the final over. Late fight, final heartbreak. Hope returned through a spirited 51-run partnership between George Linda and Rashid Khan for the 7th wicket. The tension was unbearable. But once again, Otniel Bartman delivered. He broke the partnership in the final over, dismissed Kagiso Rabada, and finished with outstanding figures of 4 for 51. In the process, Bartman became just the second bowler in SA20 history, after Marco Jansen, to reach 50 wickets. MI Cape Town closed on 180 for 8. 1 run short. This defeat leaves MI Cape Town winless after 4 games, having failed to chase down the tournament's highest targets both at home and away. For Paarl Royals, this was a statement victory, built on fearless batting, disciplined bowling, and a standout performance from Luandre Pretorius, whose return to form could shape their season. On a slow pitch where execution mattered most, Paarl held their nerve. MICT did not. 1 run decided everything. For Paarl Royals, it was redemption. For MI Cape Town, another night of frustration. Can the defending champions recover from this start, or is this season slipping away already? Let us know your thoughts. What happens when a target of 177 feels like nothing more than net practice? In Centurion, Sunrisers Eastern Cape delivered one of the most dominant chases in SA20 history, a night where Pretoria Capitals had no answers, no control, and no comeback. This wasn't just a win. This was a statement. The 14th match of SA20 saw Pretoria Capitals win the toss and make a bold call, batting first under lights at Centurion, a venue famously known for favoring the chase. That decision quickly came back to haunt them. Despite half-centuries from Connor Esterwyzen and Sherfane Rutherford, Pretoria Capitals never truly gained momentum. Their innings lacked fluency and rhythm against a sharp and disciplined Sunrisers Eastern Cape bowling attack. Anrich Nortje was relentless, operating at full throttle to finish with 3 for 32, while Adam Milne smartly varied his pace to pick up 2 for 36. Lewis Gregory was equally impressive, strangling the run flow with an economy rate of just 4.5. Pretoria Capitals eventually crawled to 176 for 7, a total that felt at least 20 runs short. For Connor Esterwyzen, this innings was personal. After a slow start to his SA20 campaign and beginning this match on 6 off 8 balls, Esterwyzen finally found his timing in the power play. Once he cleared his front leg, the momentum shifted instantly. He punished anything on his pads, took on Nortje's short balls, and carved Marco Jansen through the covers with authority. His 28-ball 50 was his first for Pretoria Capitals and a rare bright spot in an otherwise forgettable night for the hosts. If the bat didn't break Pretoria's spirit, Quinton de Kock certainly did behind the stumps. After already producing one of the catches of the tournament earlier this season, de Kock went even better in Centurion. With Andre Russell attempting to launch, a mistimed edge flew wide, and de Kock responded with a stunning one-handed diving catch that will feature in highlight reels for years. It summed up the night. Everything Sunrisers Eastern Cape touched turned to gold. If Pretoria Capitals believed 176 might be defendable, Quinton de Kock and Johnny Bairstow erased that hope within minutes. From the very first over, the tone was brutal. Boundaries flowed effortlessly. Timing was pristine. Fielders were reduced to spectators. The opening pair smashed 13 fours and 12 sixes in a flawless, unbeaten stand, the highest opening partnership in Sunrisers Eastern Cape history and the second highest in SA20 overall. By the end of the power play, SEC were 66 without loss, needing just 111 from 14 overs. There was no pressure, no risk, and no panic. Then came the over that defined the match. Facing Keshav Maharaj, Johnny Bairstow unleashed absolute carnage. 6, 6, 6, 4, 6, 6. It was the most expensive over in SA20 history. Bairstow brought up his 50 off 35 balls and never looked back. What was once 61 needed off 9 overs instantly dropped to 27 off 8. The bonus point was inevitable. Bairstow finished 85 not out, while Quinton de Kock remained unbeaten on 79, sealing the first ever 10-wicket win in a completed SA20 match. This victory sends Sunrisers Eastern Cape straight to the top of the points table, 2 points clear at the halfway stage of the group phase. More importantly, it highlights their terrifying balance, elite pace bowling, world-class fielding, and an opening partnership capable of ending matches inside 15 overs. For Pretoria Capitals, the concerns are mounting. With just 1 win from 5 matches, they sit outside the playoff positions and are running out of room for error. Tactical missteps, inconsistent batting, and an inability to control power play damage are problems that need immediate fixing. A record-breaking chase, a flawless opening stand, and a reminder that when Sunrisers Eastern Cape, they are almost impossible to stop. Is this the most dominant team in SA20 right now? And can Pretoria Capitals recover before it's too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. A packed Centurion crowd witnessed a statement performance. Pretoria Capitals did not just win, they dominated. Bonus points secured, the top of the table claimed, and the defending champions pushed to the brink. This was a night where momentum shifted decisively in the Betway SA20. After a shaky start, Pretoria Capitals found themselves searching for rhythm. Early pressure kept them in check, but stability arrived through Dewald Brevis and Sherfane Rutherford. Their 5th-wicket partnership changed the game completely. The pair added a blazing 69 runs off just 34 balls, transforming a precarious situation into a position of dominance. Capitals exploded with 84 runs in the final 5 overs, finishing on 185 for 6. This innings belonged to Sherfane Rutherford. Walking in with the Capitals wobbling, he unleashed controlled aggression, particularly against Trent Boult. 1 over alone cost Boult heavily as Rutherford sent 3 deliveries into the stands. Rutherford surged from 7 off 10 to a destructive 53 off 27 balls, registering his maiden SA20 half-century and underlining why he has been Capitals' designated finisher all season. For MI Cape Town, Kagiso Rabada showed flashes of class. He removed Connor Esterhuizen with a clever wobble-seam delivery and later rattled Jordan Cox's stumps with a sharp yorker. However, despite his control, the Capitals' acceleration left MI Cape Town under severe scoreboard pressure. Chasing 186, MI Cape Town never found momentum. Lungi Njidi struck early, dismissing Rassie van der Dussen, while Gideon Peters produced a match-defining spell. Peters removed Ryan Rickelton and then claimed 2 more wickets in his 2nd over, triggering a collapse. From 46 for 2, MI Cape Town slid to 55 for 6, effectively ending the contest. Adding to the damage were sensational catches from Dewald Brevis. 2 stunning grabs at mid-wicket, 1 on the run and another full-stretch dive, sucked the life out of MI Cape Town's chase and highlighted Capitals' all-round sharpness. Reza Hendricks stood alone amid the collapse. Batting through the innings, he struck an unbeaten 68 off 50 balls, registering his first 50 of the season. His knock ensured MI Cape Town avoided complete embarrassment, but support never arrived. The Capitals needed only 5 bowlers, all conceding under 8 and over. Keshav Maharaja's economical spell and Peters' 3 for 32 sealed a comprehensive 53-run victory. This bonus point win lifted Pretoria Capitals to 20 points, pushing Sunrisers Eastern Cape to 2nd. For MI Cape Town, the situation is grim. 2 must-win games remain, both against Sunrisers Eastern Cape, with a bonus point required to keep playoff hopes alive. If you enjoy in-depth breakdowns and match narratives like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Was this the most complete performance by the Capitals this season? On a balmy Centurion evening, Pretoria Capitals delivered power, precision, and poise. Sherfane Rutherford starred, Gideon Peters dismantled the middle order, and the table toppers sent a clear warning to the rest of the league: this title race is heating up fast. Today on Sports Review, a dramatic turnaround in the SA20 at Supersport Park where Joburg Super Kings snapped their Centurion curse with a commanding 22-run victory over the Pretoria Capitals. The match flipped on its head after a dominant start by the Capitals, only for one bowler to take control and rewrite the story. Let's break it down. The Pretoria Capitals opted to bowl first, and early on the decision looked correct. Faf du Plessis and Matthew de Villiers fell inside the power play, leaving JSK at 16 for 2. The innings needed rebuilding, and that is exactly what Riley Rosso and Wyan Mulder provided. Rosso struck 48 from 33 balls, while Mulder added 43 from 28. Their partnership rebuilt momentum and brought stability to the innings. As they attacked the spinners and rotated strike effectively, JSK pushed forward. Later, Akil Hossain added crucial late runs to push the total to 168 for 6, a score that looked competitive but not dominating on a batting-friendly pitch. Chasing 169, the Capitals came out firing. Will Smead and Bryce Parsons put on a confident 71-run opening stand, with Smead scoring 34 and Parsons 41. At that point, Pretoria looked in full control and the Super Kings were struggling for answers. The required rate was comfortable, momentum was on the Capitals' side, and a successful chase looked likely. Everything changed the moment Duan Jansen came into the attack. Delivering a career-best spell, he finished with figures of 4 for 23, hitting a hard length and forcing errors from the batters. From 71 without loss, the Capitals crashed to 89 for 5. Pressure built, the run rate climbed, and panic set in. From there, JSK controlled the game. Richard Gleeson and Wyan Mulder backed Jansen with disciplined bowling, shutting down scoring options. The Capitals never recovered from the collapse and eventually finished at 146 for 9, falling 22 runs short. This victory marked Joburg Super Kings' first ever win at Supersport Park in 4 SA20 seasons, breaking a long-standing drought at the venue. It proved they could defend totals under pressure and highlighted the strength of their bowling attack when it mattered most. For Pretoria, the match exposed middle-order vulnerability and showed how quickly momentum can shift in T20 cricket. A brilliant comeback from JSK, a statement performance from Duan Jansen, and a collapse Pretoria will want to forget. If this game is a sign of what's ahead in SA20 2025, we're in for a thrilling season. This is Sports Review. Like, comment, and subscribe for more breakdowns and highlights. What started as a match heading toward a 200-plus total ended in a complete collapse. Sunrisers Eastern Cape looked in full control, Pretoria Capitals looked settled in the chase. But one delivery changed everything. This is how Quinton de Kock, Matthew Breitsch, and Adam Milne turned match 5 into a one-sided finish. Sunrisers Eastern Cape built strong, but missed 200. After an early setback with Johnny Bairstow dismissed by Lungi Njidi in just the second over, Sunrisers Eastern Cape found stability and dominance. Quinton de Kock and Matthew Breitsch stitched together a commanding 116-run partnership, controlling the tempo through the power play. By the end of 6 overs, SEC had raced to 64 runs, smashing 5 sixes, 4 of them off de Kock's. One effortless loft over mid-off against Njidi summed up his authority. De Kock brought up his 50 off just 29 balls, while Breitsch, initially steady, shifted gears rapidly, moving from 25 off 20 to a half-century in 30 balls. When de Kock was stumped for 77 off 47 balls in the 14th over, SEC looked firmly on course for a massive total. Capitals fight back at the death. Jordan Herman provided late momentum, striking boundaries almost immediately and exploding in the 17th over with a 4 and a 6. At 168 for 3, SEC had their sights set on 200. But Tymel Mills and Lungi Njidi executed perfectly at the death. Slower balls into the pitch strangled the scoring rate, conceding just 20 runs in the final 3 overs. Herman fell for 37 off 20, and SEC settled for 188 for 6, a strong total, but slightly below their early promise. The chase, Capitals start well. Pretoria Capitals began confidently. At 49 for 1 after 5 overs, Shy Hope was flying, 36 off 18 balls, hammering 5 fours and a 6, including 3 boundaries off Anrich North. Momentum was firmly with the Capitals. Then came Adam Milne. A back-of-the-hand slower ball, Yorker length. And Hope's off stump was shattered. The game turned instantly. Collapse triggered by 1 ball. Lewis Gregory removed DeWald Brevis, but Will Smeed looked settled and in control. With 92 needed off 58 balls and 7 wickets in hand, the chase was still alive. Then Sanuran Mutusamy delivered a left-arm spinner's dream. The ball drifted, dipped, turned, and clipped the top of middle. Smeed gone for 35. That wicket triggered a collapse, 3 wickets for 14 runs, and from there, Pretoria Capitals never recovered. Adam Milne continued to dismantle the middle order. Connor Esterhuizen bowled by another slower ball, a costly mix-up leading to Wihan Love's run-out. 2 more wickets in the 17th over, Keshav Maharaj and Sherfane Rutherford. Though Rutherford fought with 25 off 19 balls, it was far too much to do. Pretoria Capitals were eventually bowled out for 140. This match was defined by control and composure. Sunrisers Eastern Cape dominated key phases despite missing 200. Their bowlers adapted brilliantly, especially Milne, whose variations destroyed the chase. Mutusamy's wicket of Smeed was the decisive turning point. A 48-run victory and a valuable bonus point underlined SEC's authority. From a threatening Capitals chase to a complete collapse in under 10 overs. Sunrisers Eastern Cape made their moments count, and Adam Milne made sure there was no comeback. Was that the turning point of the season for SEC? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What started as a high-scoring thriller at the Wanderers ended with lightning deciding the final outcome. Joburg Super Kings vs Paarl Royals promised fireworks, delivered plenty with the bat, and then saw the weather step in at the worst possible moment. With only 1 innings completed, both teams were left wondering what might have been. This was the 17th match of the Betway SA20, played at the iconic Wanderers Stadium. Paarl Royals, led by David Miller, won the toss under clear skies and chose to bowl first. On a ground known for runs, that decision immediately put the spotlight on the Joburg Super Kings batting unit. Faf du Plessis and James Vince, JSK's new opening pair, picked up right where they left off from their previous outing. They attacked early, racing to 64 without loss in the power play. Du Plessis targeted young Simran Kobani Makona, striking boundaries and a 6, while James Vince punished anything short from Bjorn Fortuin and Hardis Viljoen. The intent was clear, JSK were setting up a big total. The breakthrough finally came in the 8th over, and it was decisive. Sikandar Raza produced a superb off-spinner to clean bowl Faf du Plessis, ending a rapid 73-run opening stand. Despite the setback, JSK kept moving forward, with Vince anchoring the innings. Matthew de Villiers joined Vince and added valuable impetus. De Villiers struck 30 off 22 balls, while Vince reached his maiden SA20 50 and pushed on to 75, batting deep into the innings. At 152 for 3 after 16 overs, JSK had 200 firmly in sight. The Paarl Royals bowling unit responded impressively. Raza, finishing with 2 for 26, struck again. Mujib-ur Rahman executed a sharp run-out, and Hardis Viljoen removed Donovan Ferreira after a brief stoppage caused by a light pylon malfunction. The Royals conceded just 35 runs in the final 4 overs, restricting JSK to 187 for 6. That late surge with the ball mattered. On the Highveld, 187 was competitive but chaseable. Unfortunately, the contest never reached that stage. Persistent lightning around the ground made conditions unsafe, and with no rain but repeated strikes nearby, the match was abandoned before the second innings could begin. This result marked the 4th no result of SA 2020-25, the most in a single edition, and the second abandoned match in Johannesburg this season. Both teams were awarded 2 points. Joburg Super Kings moved to 17 points, sitting joint top with Sunrisers Eastern Cape, while Paarl Royals remained third on 15 points. The return fixture at Boland Park is scheduled for Monday, January 19, where both sides will look to settle unfinished business. Do you think Paarl Royals would have chased down 188 at the Wanderers? Or did Joburg Super Kings leave runs out there at the death? Subscribe to Sports Review for daily SA20 coverage, and share your take in the comments below. A dominant opening stand, a smart bowling comeback, and then lightning had the final say. Joburg Super Kings vs Paarl Royals ended without a chase, but the rivalry is far from over. When these two meet again, the scoreboard will not be left unanswered. What was supposed to be a record-breaking chase turned into a nightmare at Newlands. Pretoria Capitals, winless until now, walked into this clash under pressure. MI Cape Town, the defending champions, were desperate for answers. But by the end of the night, it wasn't just a loss, it was a statement defeat. An explosive finish, a brutal collapse, and a reminder that momentum can flip fast in SA20. Capitals recover, then explode. Pretoria Capitals looked in serious trouble early. At 38 for 3 inside 5 overs, the innings was wobbling. Then came the stabilizer. An 88-run fourth-wicket partnership between Shai Hope and Wihan Lub rebuilt the innings with composure and intent. They took Capitals to 126 for 4 by the 15th over, laying the platform. Both fell before the death overs, but that only opened the door for chaos. Brevis and Rutherford light up Newlands. What followed was sheer destruction. Dewald Brevis and Sherfane Rutherford smashed 84 runs in just 27 balls. The final 3 overs alone produced 72 runs. Brevis announced himself with a no-look 6 off Trent Boult, then kept swinging. Rutherford went even bigger, dismantling Dwayne Pretorius with power hitting to all parts. The result? Pretoria Capitals finished on a massive 220 for 5. MICT began the chase with intent. At 100 for 2 in the 9th over, they were actually ahead of the required rate. But then, everything unraveled. A dramatic collapse saw them lose 7 wickets for just 35 runs. From control to chaos, the home crowd watched celebrations evaporate. The innings folded for 135, handing Capitals an 85-run victory and all 5 points. Rutherford shines with bat and ball. After finishing the innings with the bat, Sherfane Rutherford returned to haunt his former side. His figures, 4 for 24, sealed the collapse and underlined his all-round impact. Rabada's return raises confidence. After nearly 10 weeks away, Kagiso Rabada looked sharp early. He removed Bryce Parsons with movement and bounce and kept things tight up front. Though he went for runs later, his rhythm and pace were encouraging with the T20 World Cup approaching. Rickelton's luck runs out. Ryan Rickelton rode his luck again, dropped twice early. But this time, fortune deserted him. Once he fell for 33, MICT lost stability and never recovered. Maharaj owns New Year's Eve. Keshav Maharaj delivered when it mattered most. Bowling just after the power play, he broke the chase open with control, turn, and discipline. His spell strangled the middle overs and triggered the decisive collapse. This wasn't just a win for Pretoria Capitals, it was a reset. From bottom of the table to a dominant 5-point haul, they finally announced themselves. For MI Cape Town, the questions are piling up. 3 games, 3 losses, and serious concerns about closing chases under pressure. SA20 has a new spark, and if this match is any indication, the season is only getting hotter. What went wrong for MICT, tactics or temperament? Let the debate begin. What happens when the bottom-placed side stares down the table toppers with just 2 wickets left and 4 runs to get? At St. George's Park in Kebra, Durban's Super Giants produced one of their most nerve-shredding finishes ever, edging past Sunrisers Eastern Cape by just 2 wickets, keeping their playoff hopes alive and throwing the Betway SA20 table wide open. This was not just a win. This was a statement under pressure. Sunrisers Eastern Cape won the toss and chose to bat, and early signs suggested a strong platform. Quinton de Kock and Johnny Bairstow came out firing, finding boundaries with ease. But momentum shifted quickly. Gerald Cutsey struck in the 3rd over, forcing Bairstow into a mistimed pull. The very next over, Sunil Narine removed de Kock, applying immediate pressure. With the power play controlled, Durban's Super Giants tightened the screws. Jordan Herman attempted to steady the innings with a 29, but Queen Mafaka trapped him LBW. Soon after, Matthew Breitsk and Marco Jansen departed, leaving Sunrisers Eastern Cape reeling at 87 for 5 in the 14th over. What looked like a strong start had turned into a batting stutter. Enter the captain. Tristan Stubbs assessed the conditions carefully, starting slowly before launching late. Alongside Lewis Gregory, he rebuilt and then accelerated with intent. Boundaries began flowing again. Stubbs punished anything short, Gregory found the mid-wicket fence, and suddenly the final overs exploded. The pair added 53 runs in the last 3 overs, lifting Sunrisers Eastern Cape to 159 for 5. From near collapse to competitive total, the late surge gave the home side renewed belief. Chasing 160, Durban's Super Giants began in emphatic fashion. Captain Aidan Markram, returning to St. George's Park against his former franchise, made his intent clear immediately. 5 boundaries in 1 over off Adam Milne silenced the Orange Army. At the other end, Marquez Ackerman joined the party, ramping and driving with confidence. The power play told the story, 71 for 1. Markram fell for a blistering 25 off 13, but Ackerman carried the momentum, smashing 45 off 26 balls, leaving DSG well ahead of the required rate. At that point, the chase looked comfortable. But Sunrisers Eastern Cape are never done. Through disciplined bowling, particularly from Sanuran Mutasamy, and relentless pressure from Anrich Norch and Marco Jansen, wickets began tumbling. Sunil Narine, Jos Butler, Heinrich Claassen, David Bedingham, and Liam Livingstone all fell trying to force the issue. Runs dried up. Nerves crept in. From a cruising position, Durban's Super Giants suddenly found themselves at 137 for 7 after 17.2 overs. The match was wide open again. With 15 needed from the last 2 overs, Gerald Cutsey provided the spark, launching Adam Milne for a 6 before being dismissed. That set up a final over equation. 4 runs to win, 2 wickets in hand. Leg byes brought the scores level. Then, under immense pressure, Evan Jones slashed Anrich Norch behind point for the winning boundary. Victory with 3 balls to spare. This at that moment, Durban's Super Giants sealed just their second ever win over Sunrisers Eastern Cape, moved off the bottom of the table, overtook MI Cape Town, and reignited their playoff campaign. Only 4 points now separate first and fourth on the SA20 table. Matches like this define a tournament. If you enjoy high-pressure finishes, dramatic turnarounds, and elite T20 cricket analysis, make sure to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Was this the most tense finish of the season so far? From early batting stutters to late-order heroics, from power play dominance to last-over chaos, this match had everything. Sunrisers Eastern Cape fought hard, Tristan Stubbs led from the front, but on the night, composure under pressure belonged to Durban's Super Giants. Betway SA20 delivered another classic, and the playoff race is now well and truly alive. Rain, pressure, playoff hopes on the line, and one unexpected hero rises. At Newlands, MI Cape Town finally found a way to win, not with their biggest stars, but through pure nerve at the death. Against a confident Joburg Super Kings, this rain-hit thriller flipped the script in just 7 balls. This was not just a 4-wicket win. This was survival. This was the 15th match of the season, and also the halfway point of the league. Before a ball was bowled, the table was split clean in 2. MI Cape Town, Pretoria Capitals, and Durban Super Giants had just 1 win each. Meanwhile, Sunrisers Eastern Cape, Joburg Super Kings, and Paarl Royals had already won 3. For MI Cape Town, this game was must-win territory. After an earlier washout and repeated struggles, another defeat could have pushed them out of playoff contention. Joburg Super Kings, sitting second, were looking to tighten their grip on the top 4. Rain had other plans, and with it came chaos. After an hour-long rain delay, MI Cape Town chose to bowl first, and paid the price early. Enter Faf du Plessis. No longer part of the international setup, but still very much elite, du Plessis produced a masterclass in the power play. He respected Kagiso Rabada for one ball, then took him apart. Cuts, drives, flicks, even a toe-ended boundary. Against Trent Bolt, the battle of experience tilted firmly in Faf's favor. 7 fours. 2 sixes, 44 off just 21 balls. By the end of the power play, Joburg Super Kings were flying at 69 for 2, with Du Plessis unbeaten on 43. But once the rain returned and the innings shortened, everything changed. With 8 overs lost, JSK had no option but to attack. And that's where things unraveled. Du Plessis mistimed a big hit after the restart and was brilliantly caught by Reza Hendricks in a moment of elite field awareness. Donovan Ferreira, fresh from World Cup selection, followed soon after, undone by his own aggression. In the second half of the innings, Joburg Super Kings lost 5 wickets for just 54 runs. The standout performers: Corbin Bosch with 3 for 24. Rashid Khan with 2 for 23. Ironically, the star pacers struggled. Bolt and Rabada conceded 56 runs in just 4 overs, continuing a worrying trend for MICT. JSK finished on 123 for 7, competitive, but not commanding. Chasing 128 in 12 overs, MI Cape Town needed intent, and they found it early through spin resistance and raw power. Ryan Rickelton fell cheaply, but that triggered a bold move. Nicholas Pooran was promoted to number 3, and the stadium woke up. 5 sixes. Clean striking. Pure confidence. Pooran dismantled Akil Hossain, Prenelan Subrayan, and even sent Richard Gleeson into the crowd. Just as he looked unstoppable, Nandre Berger, playing his first match of the season, rolled his fingers over a slower ball. Pooran fell for 33, and suddenly, MICT were 95 for 5. Pressure back on. Before the next ball, if you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay locked in for all the biggest match stories, analysis, and turning points right here on Sports Review. This is where the story becomes unforgettable. Jason Smith, South Africa's surprise T20 World Cup pick, walked in during the 9th over. The equation: 39 runs needed from 19 balls. Momentum slipping. Crowd tense. Smith needed just 7 balls, 3 sixes. 22 runs. Total belief. Suddenly, it was 12 needed from 8 balls. Kareem Janat and Corbin Bosch calmly finished the job, sealing MI Cape Town's first home win of the season, a 4-wicket victory by DLS method. This win doesn't lift MI Cape Town off the bottom of the table, but it breathes life into their campaign. For Joburg Super Kings, it's a missed opportunity in a shortened game where support for Faf du Plessis never arrived. For MICT, it's a reminder that tournaments don't turn on star names alone, sometimes, they turn on 7 fearless deliveries. MI Cape Town's title defense is officially in crisis. At Newlands, a ground known for big scores, they collapsed to a shocking 88 all-out. What followed was a ruthless response from Paarl Royals, powered by a spin masterclass and a calm finish from David Miller. This wasn't just a defeat, it was a statement. MI Cape Town entered this match under pressure, having already lost 3 of their first 4 games. Choosing to bat first at a traditionally high-scoring venue, they hoped to reset their campaign. Instead, they ran straight into a disciplined and clever Paarl Royals bowling attack. From the outset, the Royals dictated terms. Spin was introduced early through Bjorn Fortuin, while pace duties were smartly rotated between Kobani Makona and Otniel Bartman. The result was suffocating. MI Cape Town crawled to just 33 runs in the power play, hitting only 2 boundaries. Both openers were dismissed cheaply. Rassie van der Dussen sliced Sikander Raza to square leg, and Ryan Rickelton miscued Makona to mid-off. At the halfway stage, MI Cape Town were 53 for 2, and the pressure only intensified. The turning point came with Sikander Raza completely taking control. Jason Smith, under scrutiny after his surprise T20 World Cup selection, failed to deliver, bowled by Raza for just 4. Moments later, George Linda offered a simple return catch, and Rashid Khan mishit a slog, with David Miller completing a sharp catch in the deep. Raza finished with a stunning 4 for 13, backed superbly by Bartman's 2 for 8 and Makona's 2 for 10. MI Cape Town were bowled out for 88, their lowest ever SA20 score batting first, and the lowest first innings total at Newlands in the competition's history. Chasing just 89, the Royals had a brief wobble when Luandre Pretorius was dismissed by a trademark Trent Bolt outswinger. Ruben Herman survived an early scare, and that moment proved crucial. It was SA20 who took the game away. Confident, composed, and fearless, Tribe attacked both Bolt and Kagiso Rabada, smashing boundaries and sixes to put the result beyond doubt inside the power play. He raced to 34 off 28 balls, setting the tone for a stress-free chase. Although both Tribe and Herman fell before the finish, there was no drama. Kyle Verin and captain David Miller closed it out, with Miller sealing the win in style with a 6. Paarl Royals reached the target in just 13 overs, securing a 7-wicket bonus point victory and completing a historic first win over MI Cape Town at Newlands. This result sends both teams in opposite directions. MI Cape Town now sit bottom of the table with 4 losses in 5 games and fading playoff hopes. With half the league stage done, they need immediate wins, and help from other results, to stay alive. For Paarl Royals, this was a complete performance. After a heavy opening match defeat, they've bounced back with 3 straight wins, climbing to second place on the table, just 2 points behind Joburg Super Kings. Sikandar Raza has been a revelation, finishing player of the match with 75.2% of the fan vote, and sitting third on the tournament's wicket charts. Supported by young talent like Makona and the experience of Bartman, the Royals now look like genuine title contenders. A record collapse, a spin-driven demolition, and a captain sealing victory with a 6, this Western Cape Derby belonged entirely to Paarl Royals. For MI Cape Town, the alarm bells are ringing loud. Can they still turn their season around, or is this SA20 campaign slipping away? Let us know your thoughts. New Year's Day 2026 delivered pure chaos, raw emotion, and history at the Wanderers. For the first time ever in Betway SA20, a match was decided by a super over, and what unfolded between Joburg Super Kings and Durban's Super Giants will be remembered as one of the most dramatic nights the league has ever seen. A last ball run out, a tied score at 205, and a super over that flipped the table standings. This was SA20 drama at its absolute peak. The Wanderers was buzzing from the very start, and Joburg Super Kings made sure they set the tone early. Captain Faf du Plessis led from the front with a fluent 47 off 30 balls, combining with Matthew de Villiers, who chipped in with 38 off 26, as the pair raced to an explosive 89-run opening stand in just 8.4 overs. But momentum briefly swung when Durban's Super Giants introduced their spin attack. Afghanistan star Noor Ahmad was sensational, delivering one of the finest spells